Welcome to the podcast, Mike Heaton. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you very much. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, enjoying the sunshine, and it's hot out there. It's great. It's great interview weather.
It's quite hot because I'm in my little home studio, and which is very well insulated, and therefore either red hot or freezing cold. But it's quite warm, but it's nice.
You were just saying off mic there, you've been doing the rounds and doing lots of promo for the new record. And how's it been going? Have you sort of been divvying up the duties this time around quite evenly?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we all get involved with the interview side of things because we all enjoy doing it. You know, it's great talking about the band, and particularly, you know, when we're really proud of what we've been doing. And you know, the latest single is blown us away by the reaction, both from, you know, fans and radio as well. I think it's some sort of record of the week on Radio 2 this week. It's gone to Virgin, and you know, it's Danny's done a few things with Chris Evans and such, and it's been it's great. Yeah, because we had two songs that we just sort of put out there with some like visualizers, I think they call them, and then We Are It, which is the one that we all said, right, okay, that's the one if there's going to be a single off the album. And sure enough, it's gone to radio and it's getting great response. So and it's gonna be great to play. In fact, we did a little tutorial. I won't tell you too much about it, but the other day, because a lot of these tracks, you know, we did in the studio. So I'm preempting all the questions you can ask now.
That's good.
and so literally recorded it so quickly that we haven't even had a chance to play them together. So tomorrow is the first proper rehearsal for the new single that we'll be doing at Bingley Festival on Friday.
The thing is with the single, and it's so quintessentially Embrace, isn't it? You've got such a unique kind of stamp on the music you create. I mean, I was lucky enough to interview Danny last year for season 3 or something for this podcast, and we talked a lot about influences, and we talked a lot about songwriting and just their sort of approach to like what's the word? Anthemicness. It's not even a word, but you know what I mean. And when you get together, is it sort of like how can we make this, you know, sing live?
I think it's kind of in our DNA now. That we when we get together, we'll have a bunch of songs, and we all wrote loads of different ideas for this album. You know, through lockdown, we weren't getting together, so we all just beavered away in our own studios and then sent them ideas backwards and forwards. And then when we got together to start playing them, I think we just have that in our blood, the I don't know what it is, the embraceness or whatever. So we play in a certain way and we interact in a certain way, and we kind of know when things are going to, you know, need to be pared back. Like, you know, one of the songs on the album is just a piano vocal, or when we need to go big. You know, Death Is Not the End, which is the opening track on the album. And then there's all those areas in between, and We Are It. It came together like that. It was literally, here's the song idea, sat down as a band, started playing it. Very unusual. I think the first thing I played on drums, we went, that's it. And literally, and we laid it down. In fact, to the point where, you know, Rick was, because he produced it and mixed it, he was saying, we got it so quickly, I didn't even have a chance to really set the mics up properly. So the album version is literally the first few takes when we got together and played it, and it had that vibe. You know, we've done that before when on This New Day that we wrote over in Spain with Youth. You know, a lot of those takes were just writing takes in Spain. We came back to the UK to re-record all the demos in Olympic, and 3 or 4 of the songs we couldn't better the raw takes that had happened literally when we wrote the songs.
And that's pretty old school these days.
Yeah, it is. And for us, you know, and we're renowned for taking far too long to make albums. You know, sometimes out of nothing. You know, it took 3 or 4 years, you know, to put it all together, write the songs, and get them all perfected and honed down. I think maybe because, I don't know, we're a bit older and a bit better at what we do, and we just kind of, we think now that if it's right, it's right. Whereas in the past, we do something, record it, and we go, that sounds great. Let's try another 10 versions of it in different keys, in different tempos, with different drum beats, and then go all the way back a lot of the time to the start and go, oh yeah, we had it actually.
Do you feel so much more creative control over what you're doing as you would have done potentially 15, 20 years ago?
I mean, it's interesting, Chris, because we've always, and in fact, one of the first, major points in the first deal we ever had was that we had complete artistic control, and we have always had that, and we've always had the final word on what goes down. But obviously, we've had a lot of record company, interaction as well. Some of it good, some of it bad. Some of it I wish we'd listened to, and some of it I wish we hadn't. It's both ways. But now we just basically say to each other, "Are we going to do a new album? Let's write some songs. We'll record it, we mix it, we finish it, and then we go to our manager Tony, who we've had since 1996 when we first started, and then we'll say to Tony, here's the album, find something to release it." So we don't have any, and it's not always a good thing. Sometimes it is a good thing. When we worked with Youth, I mean, let's face it, Youth produced 2 of our biggest selling albums. So you can't say that wasn't a great thing to happen, but in this day and age now, to be able to do it ourselves, I think we've learned the art of, particularly Rick on the production side.
Yeah.
The art of getting the best out of the band.
From a sonic point of view, how would you say this album differs from some of the other stuff you've produced? Because I guess with you guys, there's always been some evolution of the sound. But what I talked about and touched on earlier on was just that you can sound and pick out Embrace quite easily and quickly, and it draws you in that way. But is there anything different songwriting wise, or where you're coming from based on the last couple of years? We've had a pretty hideous time of things. Has that influenced this album, do you think? A long way around getting to a question. Apologies for that.
That's all right. Sorry, Chris. I think it's influenced in that when we came round to get in the studio, we were very impatient and wanted to get it done, because we've been working on things in our own little studios. So when we got together, we were very much focused on let's just get in and get it done as soon as possible, because we want to get another record out. Obviously, without any detriment to the quality. We always make sure that we're absolutely happy with what goes on there, but we probably didn't question ourselves as much. Like I said earlier, I think this time round, if it felt right, it was right, and we did it and we put it down. Sometimes you can work. In the past, we've worked on songs for so long that, in honesty, by the time it comes out, you're a bit bored of it. Until you start to play it live, and then it comes back to life again. But no, I think it shows in this album that it was put down quickly, because it's like We Are It has got that energy, and just kind of feels quite youthful, which is great for us. Being that I've been in the band 30 years this year, we've been together a while, same lineup since '96. And to get that energy and that excitement is great, and I think that shows on this album. And the album does cover a lot of different bases, like I say, I touched on before, from the really stripped back piano vocal approach, it's kind of more akin to Drawn from Memory, right through to the title track of the album, which is, I see it as very much a sort of part 2 of the Good Will Out off the first album. It's got that anthemic ending that hopefully everyone will sing along to. So yeah, it's nice because it covers it's more varied, I think, than the last album.
You mentioned then about the lineup not changing, and that is rare. And why do you think that is? I mean, it's a good thing, but what is it you guys have that you think is missing from other bands? I mean, is it? I mean, obviously there's a connection, but does it go anywhere else? Is there something deeper there?
I think there's like the obvious connection and the fact that we get on well. We didn't probably tour as heavily as some of the bands. We spent a lot of time in the studio, and it's out on the road when it can really test your relationships. When you've been in the same bus for weeks on end, that's when it can really tear bands apart. So we probably didn't do as much intensive touring. So it's a mixture of things. It's a mixture of the fact we get on well. We didn't destroy ourselves, and we didn't sort of kill ourselves touring. Maybe that was a bad thing. We may have gone on to bigger and better things if we had done more touring, but we were always drawn back to the studio, back into that.
I suppose the other dynamic is the brothers in the band, probably checking each other out and not keeping each other in check, so to speak. And I suppose nowadays with you guys knowing each other, when someone's getting a bit lofty, pulling back down to earth, if that ever happens.
Yeah. I'm not saying that there haven't been, arguments and disputes and, times when we've wanted to punch each other's lights out. It just like it would be for any family that spends that amount of time together in close proximity, either in the studio or on a bus. So yeah, we've been down that, and we've had times where we thought maybe the band wouldn't continue. But we've always kind of, I don't know how, we've always just kind of pushed through. We were talking about it recently, and if you look at, well, you could probably count it on the fingers of one hand the amount of bands that have had the same lineups for 25 years. There aren't many out there. Who knows? Embrace at 60.
Yeah, well, I hope so.
Well, I somehow doubt it, because I'll be about, God knows. Yeah, I'll be 80.
You've got such a loyal fan base as well. And one thing I've noticed sort of the last sort of, I don't know, 5 to 10 years is how much you've kind of embraced that, pardon the pun, but on social media and online, the sort of secret lists and things that you do, the extra mile that you go to for the fans in terms of bringing them in. And I want to know, how did that happen? Is that something you kind of, was that a germ of an idea that happened sort of originally that just, expanded, or was it something you kind of had in the back of your minds for a while?
I think it was down to the fans, really. Obviously it was, we had ideas to do all the secret gigs, but it was, a lot of it was down to the fans being so fantastic. I can't stress enough, how important they have been to our career and to keep us going, through hard times, through thick and thin. And we've tried to repay that by doing something a bit different, like we did the whole string of secret gigs in weird and wonderful locations. Obviously 3 secret festivals, which were an absolute nightmare to organise, and from a money point of view, not really worth doing, but everyone came away with a smile on the face and an experience that we never forget. So yeah, the ideas have come from us, but the reason they've happened is because of the fans. And we're going through a difficult time at the moment. There's no, across the board, people are struggling to be able to afford to go to gigs, without a shadow of a doubt. We've seen that. I'm not going to hide it. It's difficult. Ticket sales aren't as great as they have been before, because we're in a time where it's bloody impossible to afford to live. The fuel crisis is just ridiculous. And something needs to be done, because it's just it's killing the person in the middle, as it always does. Without getting political, it's a bloody mess, and something should be done about it, because a lot of people are going to struggle, particularly coming to the winter. So then again, that comes back to what I was saying about the fans that come to see us. We're just so grateful that they can, put their hand in their pocket and spare that money to come down. And we can't wait to get on the tour. It's been 3, I don't know when we last went on tour, 3 years, I guess. So we can't wait to get out and play the new songs as well.
The album comes out end of August, and then the tour is scheduled for around about the same time, or was that later in the year?
No, same time. The album comes out end of August, and we go out. We've got Victoria's Festival, and then 2 days later we go on tour. Yeah, so it's all sort of happening at the same time.
How difficult will it be to do the set list? Because obviously you want to showcase the new material, but you've got so many set enders, set beginners, middles, and ends. How do you do it? Do you change it up every night?
We don't change up every night, but we try to move things around. But it is difficult, because you want to. It's awkward, isn't it? Because we all know, if we're honest, we go to see our favourite band who's got a new album out, and most of the time we want to hear the hits, we want to hear the bangers, and you'll play a few new songs, but a lot of people don't know them. So it's difficult. So it's that balance of, maybe doing a few songs with the new album and then going with but like you say, we've got 7 albums worth of material and B-sides and everything else. So it is tricky. I think we've put together a set that will please, hopefully, most people. You'll always get people who want a rare B-side here and there, and something that we haven't played for God knows how many years. So yeah, it is difficult, but I think we've picked something that'll please most people, hopefully.
You've always got that guy shouting retread. Well, there's always someone shouting retread, isn't there?
Try Kids is it? And the thing is, we love all those songs, and we did years and years ago. We did a gig at Leeds Town Hall actually, and we only played B-sides.
Wow.
Which was interesting. I'm not sure how much everyone was interested in us playing a whole set of B-sides, but probably wouldn't do it again. But it was interesting to do.
A good position to be in to be able to do that, and just to sort of explore that side of your catalogue live.
It is. Obviously nowadays it doesn't exist, because there is no A and B side, and it's a funny old world out there at the moment. As I said before the interview, my kids are 16 and 19. Neither even listen to radio. Neither have got a clue what the charts are. It's a very, very different world out there.
What were who your musical influences then, Mike, growing up, and were there any super drummers that you idolised?
Yeah, loads. I mean, I'm a bit of a, John Bonham's my hero, which is a very obvious one, but he's just brilliant. John Bonham, Neil Peart, Ian Pace, Bill Ward from Sabbath, Paul Cook from the Pistols, who was probably one of the reasons I took up drumming. Topper Hedden from the Clash, a lot of the punk and rock people. Alex Van Halen. I was really into my hair metal in the 80s. Tommy Aldridge, all these drummers, they're absolutely incredible, and a lot of them still going. But musically, the bands that those drummers played for, Filthy Animal Taylor, from Motorhead. You try playing a lot of his parts, they ain't easy, So I kind of grew up with punk first. I had a bit of a weird musical upbringing. My brother was 4 years older, and he was really into prog, which I hated when I first got into punk, obviously. Mm-hmm. But now I absolutely love bands like Yes and Pink Floyd. I went to see Roger Waters about 4 years ago do the Us and Them tour. Probably the best thing I've ever seen. Incredible. Neil Young, amazing songwriter. Yeah. So I went through that, and then for all the hair metal stuff. In fact, I've just been down to see Iron Maiden in Barcelona.
Oh, cool.
So it's. But my influences are far and wide, and the only thing I can't really stand is I hope they don't mind me saying UB40. Just got a thing. I don't know what it is. Just got a thing. But yeah, I appreciate loads of bands. The other day on the radio, ELO came on. Incredible, out of the blue. What a masterpiece. So yeah, I like everything really, but I do sort of lean towards the heavier stuff. I would have said.
You see, that was my background growing up as well, in all the sort of thrash metal, hair metal, and having an older brother definitely is an influence, isn't it? And when you sort of get onto that side, because I don't think there's any other way I would have been sort of exposed to that. To sort of skin tight jeans and high top trainers otherwise, because none of my friends were doing it.
Oh yeah, I had the whole striped trousers and the bullet belt. In fact, the bullet belt is sitting in the next room there. I've still got that. It was great times. But I also went through a bit of a scar stage, madness specials. So yeah, I kind of jumped ship. I think I went through all the different stages. I went punk, ska, metal, prog, and then I basically came to the realization that you could actually like all of them together.
Yeah. In terms of picking up the sticks then, I mean, when did that happen? Was it sort of early as a child, or was it something you picked up a bit later on in life?
It was 11, and this the story I've told a lot with the sort of Embrace fans is going back to the Pistols. I was a massive fan of the Pistols, and my dad, who was God bless him, was a very quite straight laced guy. Just couldn't stand what they stood for. Just hated it. And for my 11th birthday, I always loved Steve Jones and his white Les Paul. So I basically asked for a white Les Paul. I knew I wouldn't get a Les Paul because they would cost a fortune. Yeah. But my dad kind of must have thought, and he used to be in like do a bit of core drumming when he was at school. So he probably, I think he thought, what's the lesser of two evils? Guitarists, they're horrible. I woke up to my 11th birthday with a snare drum sitting in front of me. So my dreams of being a guitarist evaporated in one fell swoop. My friend Vince Clark, not the Vince Clark, a different one. He got a guitar, and we sat in his kitchen making a load of noise, and that was our first band, and we were called It.
Good name. I was talking to somebody else on my on a different podcast with a different guest, and we were talking about first bands, and I remembered the band that I was in called Bad Obsession. Named after the Guns N' Roses track, and our first track that we wrote together was called Night Stalker. So it just got a little bit of a taste of the metal years, the hair metal years.
Yeah, I was for that, but it morphed from It to Satan.
You can't get more on the nose, can you?
No, nail your colours to the flag. It's like, yeah. I mean, we were crap. I mean, we were terrible. But we didn't have. I don't think we ever wrote a song.
You also do a bit of drum tutoring and things like that as well, don't you? Is that right?
Yeah, this is my. I've got two kits. There's one here and one over there, and this is all. I record here as well. I record bands, so it's all set up for Pro Tools. But yeah, I teach in here. I do a bit of just a bit of private tutoring. Only kind of a few lessons a week. Just because I don't know. I never took a grade in my life, so I don't teach grades. I just teach people how to play in a band, really, because I play bass and guitar, so I've got. Like a Royal Blood type setup here with the bass and pitch shifters and stuff. So I can teach people a groove, and then I can say, right, okay, now you need to learn how to play to this, and stop on the bass and play and get them to lock in with the bass because it's the foundation of a band. So yeah, I teach in here and I record in here. So this is my little man cave.
Well, Mike, I'll let you go, but it's been fascinating talking to you. Thank you so much for spending some time to talk about the upcoming album. Good luck with everything and the tour. Well, finally, one question is, I mean, is there a plan after this 8th studio album? Are you thinking about the next project, or is that something you guys don't tackle yet?
Yeah, we were already talking about. We were talking about doing an EP early next year. Whether that might now just push on to the next album. But, for sure, we haven't got any intentions of stopping. We're all really still into it. The tour, I can't wait to get out and play. It's going to be great. And hopefully, I don't know when this is going to go out, but, if anyone wants to come and see us, it's all on the website, embrace.co.uk. Come down to a show, say hello, jump around, have a good time. But, the bottom line is, while there are still people who want to listen to us and want to come and see us, I don't see any reason why we should stop. We all do other things as well now, which is great because it keeps it fresh when we get together. I've got another little band called Land Sharks, which is a lot heavier. We record it all here. Rick's got Eva, which is him and Nicole. Mickey's got Experiment 637, which is him and another guy, and Steve plays with me in Land Sharks. So we've all got other things as well. We just love music. Love music, love writing music, love recording it, love playing it. So while ever people are interested, we'll be here probably.
Well, thanks ever so much again, Mike. It's been an absolute pleasure. And good luck with everything.
And thanks for your time. Take care.
Bye.